We have some record-breaking cold that's going to be making its way down through the northern plains, out towards the Midwest and the East Coast this weekend. We have some more snowstorms moving through the northern plains, Midwest, and New England, and some of this snow is going to try and make it out to the mid-Atlantic coast. And could we finally see that mid-December warm-up I've been talking about? It looks like it might be coming, and hopefully we can replace it with cold air before Christmas time. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Let's get into the weather updates. We have a lot of moisture moving into the Pacific Northwest, lots of flash flood warnings out there. We have some more moisture moving into northern Idaho and western Montana. That is snow at high elevations, rain at the lower elevations. We did have a pretty decent clipper system make its way through the upper Midwest last night. Now it's transitioning into inner New England. You can see on the south end of this, we have some rainfall currently falling through portions of Indiana, Ohio, and we do actually have another clipper system right behind this that could drop some more snow in very similar places within the next 24 to 36 hours. Over the next 72 hours, we are expecting more snow here through portions of the Midwest and inner New England. From Minneapolis down to Dubuque, Waterloo, Davenport, potentially Chicago, 2 to 4 inches on top of what we just got is possible. Stretching down to Indianapolis and Cincinnati at 4.5 inches, potentially Columbus and Dayton at around 3.5 inches. This isn't the clipper system that just moved through. This is another one that's on its way. And if we were to transition to the high end amounts, hey, on the high end, 6 to 9 inches through this region is possible according to the National Weather Service. And on the high end over the next 72 hours, inner New England could actually see a decent amount of snow as well. You can see in upstate New York, we could have some totals exceeding a foot. Again, if you get that high end amount, you get that good snow ratio, but really just a nice blanket for inner New England. And I'm going to get into this next clipper system here in a second. Here's our expected amounts over the next 72 hours out west. A lot of this is in the mountains, but you can see some of this is low elevation for eastern Montana. Billings potentially 6 inches, up to Malta at around 4 inches, Glasgow at around 3.5. So again, eastern Montana, this is expected to fall at the lower elevations. Let me quickly take you through what the next 10 days could look like. Our system that just moved through the Midwest obviously is going to move out here, continue moving east, drop some snow in New England like we talked about. But right behind it, here we go. We have another clipper system forming, pushing down through the northern plains. Now, I will say this, on our short range models, this snow is a little bit more intense and it's a little farther north. So Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, keep your eye on this. On the HRRR, which I'll show in a second, we actually have some snow further up to the north here. You can see right here on the HRRR, this is dumping a lot of snow a lot farther north. This would actually be potentially 3 to 6 plus inches for Minneapolis, moving into Milwaukee and Chicago if this snow did shift this far north. And then we'd have an ice storm for portions of Iowa on the southern side of the system. So over the next really 12 hours, let's see what the models do, because this system is not far away from moving through. We're talking about 24 to 36 hours. And our globals and short ranges don't totally agree. I'll be watching to see how the models trend today, farther north with this system or farther south, and I'll give you guys an update. This system's going to dive down through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and then a lot of the snow is going to fall along the mountains here and not quite make it out to the coast. But don't worry if you're along the coast, we have another system likely moving in behind it. By the way, with all of this is a lot of cold air still diving into the east. When you see these blues, this is typically colder air. These reds is typically warmer air. What I'm really looking at is the 540 line. This is our freezing line. So typically if you're on the north side of this, you have the chance of getting snowfall because again, the air north of this line is freezing. Moving into Saturday morning, here we go. This is the system we are watching for the East Coast. We get another clipper system punching down through the northern plains, heading towards Iowa, through the Midwest, and this is going to try to dump some snow out there along the East Coast. Now, again, how far south does this clipper move? Is this a lot of snow for Iowa? Does it try and put some more snow up into Minnesota? We'll see. Models are going to take this north and south a little bit as we move forward in time. And here's where our European model puts snow Saturday night into Sunday morning out along the Mid-Atlantic coast, New England coast. This would be a nice fast burst of snow from really Philly to New York City. Potentially DC and Baltimore could get involved here as well. If we were to look at snow totals, the Euro for DC and Baltimore likes 1 to 2 inches, Philly around 4, New York City around 3, maybe an inch and a half for Boston. So hey, who knows? We could see a little bit more if we get the high end totals here. But again, this is something else I'll be watching in the trends. I'll keep you guys updated. We're now getting under 100 hours for this system. So we're getting into that forecasting range where we can tweak some stuff. I hope that this snow does not disappear off the map for you in the next 24 to 48 hours. I don't think it will, but I think we'll see some of these numbers modified. Now, we're still cold here as we move into the beginning of next week, but here is where things could change. I've been talking about the potential for a mid-December warm-up for quite a while. It may be here. We start to see a lot of this cool air push up to the north, and suddenly we have a lot of warm Pacific air pushing into the states. This could be above average anomalies for pretty much everyone from coast to coast. Potentially the Pacific Northwest stays a little bit cooler. We'll have to see what happens there. But as we push through next week, we have another trough trying to dig down into the upper Midwest as we get into late next week, which could bring the possibility of some severe weather down to the southeast and some more snow up to the northern tier states. But as that pushes out and we approach December 20th, 21st, some more warm air is settling in across the states. Do I think this warm air is here to stay? I do not, but we're going to get into that in just a little bit. Taking a look at the latest 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Again, over the next 6 to 10 days, we're going to just see more of what we've been seeing. Very cold out east, very warm out west. It gets interesting as we get into this 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Now suddenly we have that warm air beginning to creep out east. Now our 3 to 4 week, we're still expecting warmer temperatures in the southern tier states of the US, with those colder temperatures up here in the northern Rockies, northern plains, and upper Midwest. Precipitation wise, over the next 6 to 10 days, the northwest is the big winner here, and the southwest and central plains could be dry during this period. You get a little bit of moisture potentially down here into Florida, Louisiana, and Texas as well. Moving out into our 8 to 14 day range, much of the same. The northwest, northern tier states here, we're really dry, really from the southwest across the central US, and we still have some moisture for southern Texas, portions of Florida as well. Our 3 to 4 week, this is when things could get interesting. Depending on our temperatures, this could be some severe weather, or this could be a lot of snow for this region. The Climate Prediction Center has been liking this for quite a while. A lot of precipitation out here towards the end of December, so we're going to have to watch that. But notice for the northwest, from our 6 to 10 day to our 3 to 4 week, we are above average with precipitation. So expect that moisture to continue up here. The mountains are going to get a ton of snow. A lot of this, though, at low elevation is going to be rain, although we'll see, because once we get out past a week, there may be a cool down headed for the west that will try to make some of this low elevation snow. Moving through the next 7 days, look at these temperature anomalies out east. This is freezing Arctic air. We're talking about 30 to 40 degrees below average diving into the states. The coldest of this air looks to arrive Saturday night into Sunday morning for portions of the northern plains and upper Midwest. And then as we push through Sunday and into Monday, you can see we have widespread 20 to 30, even maybe in some cases 35 plus degrees below average air in the Ohio Valley, southeast, up and down the East Coast. This cold air is taking over the eastern half of the US. We push through Tuesday, that cold air is still lingering around, and then here we go, Wednesday. This is when we could see that big warm up. And this would be quite the temperature swing. I mean, we're talking about going from, like I said, 30 degrees below average to potentially 20 degrees above average. So here we go. We're feeling like we're 30 degrees below zero as we get into Friday and Saturday in the upper Midwest. Look at this, negative 32, negative 37. Those negative feels like temperatures are going to begin to stretch down all the way potentially into the Ohio Valley. We're seeing negative feels like temperatures trying to push down into Tennessee and almost Arkansas here. I mean, a negative 25 degrees feels like in Chicago, negative 31 in Minneapolis. This is very cold air. Let me push out to the Ohio Valley here. Freezing air. Now let me show you the difference between this. Okay, so this is our feels like temperatures on Sunday, and this could be just 3 to 4 days later. We're talking about going from negative feels like temperatures to potentially 60 degrees in St. Louis, 50 to 60 degrees across portions of Kentucky and Indiana. We're talking about a swing, feels like wise, of 50 to 60 degrees. It's going to be pretty close to that actual temp wise as well. One thing I did want to bring up in this video is we actually have a decent amount of snow compared to previous years in North America right now. This is where we're currently sitting at. And now I'm going to show you where we were at this point last year. Take a look at that. A lot of ice missing in Canada. We really didn't have much snow in the Midwest. We are way ahead of schedule from last year. Going back to 2023, the snow extent is even more drastic. Now, again, why do I show you this? Because with the snow cover and ice, it does help for the transfer of colder air across the surface, which can lead to an overall colder winter. Now, even though we are expecting this brief warm up ahead here, I do think this factors into pushing that warm up out quicker than it typically would move out. There's just a lot of freezing air on the surface to our north, and all that cold air really needs is just a little shove to get moving down into the states, and it's going to move across a lot of snow, a lot of ice on the surface, so it's not going to be warming up at its normal rate as it travels south. Moving ahead, this looks like another SSWE, sudden stratospheric warming event. A lot of high heights up here over the stratospheric polar vortex. What can this lead to? Say this does begin to happen, this SSWE mid-December, you can expect some well below average temperatures potentially entering the states sometime around the first or second week of January. Again, there's usually a lagging effect with the stratospheric polar vortex, unlike the tropospheric polar vortex. Now, this warming is kind of already going on right now. You can see we kind of have that stratospheric polar vortex with some higher heights in the middle, but this could definitely amplify, as you see right here, as we get into this weekend. We could get even higher heights, warmer temperatures up over the Arctic. Last thing I wanted to point out before wrapping this video up is this is our hazardous cold over the next 3 to 7 days. Bismarck, Minneapolis, Sioux Falls, Des Moines, Madison, Chicago, Springfield, Bloomington, Duluth, Fargo, Grand Forks. You guys know if you're in this. This is, again, hazardous cold. We're talking feels like potentially approaching in some of these areas -20 to -40 degrees. So just be aware of that as we move into this weekend. Really, Thursday night into Friday is when the coldest air is going to begin moving in, and I think that Saturday night into Sunday morning time frame is when we could really see some brutal cold in this region. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I do upload videos like this every single day. I took the last 2 days off. That's not normal though, just got busy in my personal life, but I'm back posting every morning, streaming every morning. And if you want to join an awesome weather Discord, the link to my Discord is right down in the description of all of my YouTube videos and YouTube lives. You can join now, it's completely free. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or in the live stream right after I post this video.